And my dad was like, and you stop telling on your brothers for doing shit. And I couldn't tell you how old we were, but it was just one of those things. It's just like
you just sticks with you.
And so it's exactly like that. It's an experience. And since then, you've always had just the love for eating.
Yeah, I've always had the love for eating.
So are you considered a professional eater? If what you do, like when you go out to eat, people are paying you to eat their food or giving it to you for free. Are you considered a professional eater? Is that what your title is now?
I don't like to see it that way. I would say more of a food influencer.
Okay. And you definitely are. Like, you put me on most of the places that we're like, I'm like, oh, there's a new spot.
Yeah, like, I like to try and stay on top of those things. But, like, weirdly, like, I was always into, like, fashion also. So before the food blog, it was more fashion.
Wait, so you started in fashion and then worked your way?
Mm-hmm.
All right,
I felt like the food stuck.
Well, yeah, I can understand that. So tell us a little bit more about how you started in the fashion game, please.
Well, I don't know. It just comes from always like to be like well dressed, you know. And at one point, I did have a online business selling shoes, Nikes, Adidas, just kind of like shoes that
secondary
are
market.
Yeah, resale stuff.
Like the sneaker app and things.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you fuck with that? And do you ever win? Nobody ever wins.
For the record, fuck sneakers app. Like,
no, I mean I think everyone's in that.
Is so trash. They have to figure out a better way to like allow people to win without having all these bots. And
it's pretty much like Ticketmaster for those that we have a large live music contingency, and you know how those tickets get snatched up in like 5 seconds. And you're like, fuck, I didn't even get a chance. Yeah. It's like that. That's pretty much what the shoes are.
How do shoes sell out in less than 2 seconds? Like, that's ridiculous.
So was the fashion game similar to what my situation was when I was working for a sports company, where, like, you know, there was no incentive for a sports athlete to come on the podcast, you know, unless why would somebody come on without, or was there a need for self-promotion? That's why folks would want to work in that field?
Yeah, I feel like it was always hard, especially reselling, because for one, it's a lot of like fake shoes, replicas that are going around. Has always been a thing. Like, they make the replicas like really, really hard to tell from the real shoes, like to the point where you got to break out like black lights and shit like that. So that was always the tough part, to get people to buy in, to actually want to spend money to shop with you. So I figured if I can like have not all the best shoes, but have like really nice shoes and dress this way, maybe it might help people feel more inclined to be like, okay, he's legit. He ain't full of shit. He's not going to scam me, you know. So that was the whole premise behind that. But after a while, you know, trying to work with different brands and then trying to, like, secure people to drop ship the shoes for me. Like, I had one guy, and he was the only guy that I was working with, and he kind of fell on some hard times, like mental health issues, and he just pretty much dropped off the face of the planet. So I was just like, shit out of luck. So the fashion, you know, just kind of doing research about this whole social media thing and figuring out that sometimes it's better to stick within one concept than trying to do, you know, multiple different things. And I felt like the food was something that was always easy to do, because of course you're always going to go out and eat somewhere. And so
you mean like the social media aspect of being that? Yeah, I'm not gonna say it's the lowest hanging fruit, because I feel like Road and Fields is still there, and Cutco. Like, there are other ways to, like, you know, use your masses to sell things, right? You know? But like, there is this large growing, I'm gonna call this, I guess we use the word pandemic, but there is this scene that is created where they assign value. There is a value that is not necessarily tangible that is assigned to an account to which somebody can charge a restaurant who can't pay their bills in Instagram posts or Twitter likes, so that's a fickle beast when you have to juggle these things. And so when you see a lot of these restaurants are getting scammed by people that are saying, they promise you the world, but then all they deliver is somebody, you get 600 likes from Russia and nobody new comes into your restaurant. That doesn't help, you know? So how does someone navigate through the shit to find who's truly a quality following person in this field?
I feel like, for me, and I hope it kind of resonates within the people who follow me, just trying to be authentic. Because I always tell people all the time, because they're like, oh, how do you get so many followers, this, that, like, I'm grateful for the people who follow me, but it's only a few core group of people I think that actually like pictures every time I post, comment every time I post, react to stories. Like these core group of people, these are the people that I feel like I could call on if you were to start a restaurant tomorrow. I feel like I can call on these people and be like, hey, a buddy of mine is opening a restaurant, I need you to come through. They would come through. So for me, it hasn't always been about the follower count. For one, it's easy to manipulate that. Like I could pull up, profiles on my phone right now who have fake likes, and I can show you what those profiles look like.
But that's how do you monetize that is the question. So if we wanted to become the next food god or something, like that guy, he obviously had a little bit of clout coming into it, being a Kardashian friend and things, and he may have his own money. But at the same time, once you get to that point where you have that clout or that stature in the society, it doesn't matter how much money you're making because you get everything for free. But how do you go about monetizing this? And I'm asking because we would love to fucking know. We're idiots. But luckily we have the podcast.
Yeah, that's something that I'm still trying to figure out. Because for me, I always go back and forth between a hobby and wanting to monetize it. Obviously, I feel like I do good work, so at some point I feel like it should be some sort of exchange. And sometimes it does happen. You might...
You don't want to sell out and be like the guy that's like, oh, by the way, I just teamed up with this great Pepsi Cola or whatever, or Cutco knives, something you don't necessarily believe in,
and
that's for the check.
Yeah, and that's something that I don't do. I don't support things that I actually haven't used or been using.
So do you reach out to brands? Let's say that you like this hard soda or you enjoy this cannabis that we're smoking from our friends over at Callie's Cannabis Shop down in Rhino. See, I believe in the product, so I don't mind plugging it. But do you reach out to them? You're like, hey, I've been slugging your drinks or smoking your doja for a while now. Do y'all have any interest in doing a partnership? Is that how that kind of materializes?
I have done that before.
Because I'm asking again for curious tips.
Yeah, because I've done that before for Suja, the juice company. I reached out to them.
You're like, this shit slaps, and I'm sick of paying $10
I was like, I drink it all the time. Do you have any kind of
affiliate program?
Affiliate program, yeah. I asked them if they have any kind of affiliate program. And for me, I feel like everything's about timing. So at some point, being able to monetize this and eventually I would like to turn it into a full-time career, but I feel like at some point all of that's going to come. But just to be able to have certain brands, certain restaurants that I work with, I feel like that's worth its weight in gold when you're in the grand scheme of things,
I couldn't agree more, and we mentioned having chefs on this podcast, and we're brutally thankful for those, those folks that took us under their wing, people, and I like to think of like Chef Kelly Whitaker was one of those people that really was nice enough to introduce me to those people in the industry and like let you in, you know.
Right.
On the inside circle, it's a lot different, you know, and so you have folks like that, and then Amos and, you know, Tommy Lee, like these are great folks, and it's like when you have that, they're just really nice, and it's a nice base to build on, so it does feel like you're like, I can do this. Like,
right.
And your content shows that you're definitely capable of it, and you will be doing this full time if you're not already. But we're always just kind of curious. And so you mentioned, you know, you have a couple staples that you like to kind of work with, and you believe in the food that they put out. Give us a little plug. We're going to start diving in the nitty-gritty. Who are some of the bangers that you like to hang out with?
I like working with, which is not a restaurant, but PR company, Feed Media.
Okay, nice. Shout out to those folks.
Shout out to
They're
Feed
really
Media.
Great people.
Like they are super cool. Like anytime it's a new event or anything, I feel like they always think of me, which makes me feel good about the things that I do, that people actually think enough of me to like invite me to go do these cool things.
Right.
So,
it's always a grateful feeling. I'm very appreciative that y'all
like,
thought of me. I'll try not to fuck this up, but I always do.
Yeah, because there's so many, you know, people within the same, you know, doing the same thing. So it's like, it's really cool to have them reach out to me to like go to different events and stuff like that. So big shout out to Feed Media. Like they always hook it up.
Do you have a restaurant that you just love not only working with, but like one you find yourself, like we see a Popeyes commercial here. They don't pay us, but I hit them up all the time. Do you have a spot that you really dig that you probably hit a regular basis? We're going to start getting into some of your fan favorites.
I fuck with Toro Denver over in Cherry Creek.
Okay.
Their dinner, and they have a bottomless brunch. So both food and drink, just all you can eat for like $50.
Oh, that sounds a little bit fantastic.
Yeah, like I always go there. I like Tupelo Honey a lot. I work with them a lot also.
Tupelo Honey's the people that do Southern food, right?
Right, yeah, they do like chicken and waffles.
I've seen that.
Shrimp and grits.
It's been a minute since I've been over there. They used to have this lunch where they would do $1 martinis if you bought an entree. But they would cap you at 3. So we would go over there on lunch on Fridays after work. We just call it a half day. Get the chicken sandwich and then just get blasted on fucking loud. Yeah. It was lethal.
Yeah, I fuck with Tupelo Honey. Like, I feel like that's always like a cool place to like. Just if you're downtown, like you're out of options, Tupelo Honey. Like even if you're not out of options, Tupelo Honey is just like a cool place to hang out.
Okay, so give me your top 3 bangers in the downtown neighborhood. You can count Tupelo Honey if you like. Because we're going to start asking your favorite happy hours, date night specials, concerts. We have food events coming this summer. We have all sorts of things.
You probably know more about the concerts and happy hours.
I have not. Where is this? The Broken Cage?
Yeah, the Broken Cage, Denver. That's one of my newest favorite spots. It's actually right a little bit. It's like a block down from Room for Millie.
Okay.
Which would be my second favorite place downtown. I guess that's...
Room for Millie, for those that are curious, is on the same road as Denver Beer Co. and REI. Mm-hmm. It's just in that little building right there with, I guess, a rooftop above it. But Room for Millie is known for their craft cocktails and finger delights, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
Light snacking.
Yeah, like snacks.
I guess they may have more entrees, but those aren't bad. Okay, so we're going to kind of go bounce some ideas off you. Do you smoke cannabis? Do you have a location that you'd like to promote for your, do you have a dispensary you hit?
I would say, honestly, I couldn't give you a favorite.
Yeah, that's understandable.
There's so many, like, there's more of those in Starbucks, so I like to try new spots.
There you go. Until you find something you like.
Right.
Well, that reminds me, check out my friends over at Callie's down in Rhino. They also opened a location on West 8th Avenue right off of I-25. And then they have their staple, their baby girl. Up there, Callie's Original is in North Glen. That's just a seamless plug. So here's our next question. Obviously, you mentioned you like craft cocktails. Do you have a happy hour that you like, menu-based, something like an Angelo's Tavern that has a good food and drink combo? What's your happy hour that you like putting folks on?
What's so crazy is, like, just recently over the last 2 months, I've been in the position to do happy hour. Like, happy hour
because of work and such?
Happy hour has not been in my vocabulary for years, like, which is crazy to think now that I actually have a chance to do stuff like that, which has always been super cool.